We just did things the last 2 weeks that nobody ever heard of, but it was so successful. It was called a movie poster reveal. Everybody we talked to, nobody
Who does movie posters anymore.
No,
it's like the 60s, 50s, 70s.
Well, even back then, nobody has a reveal.
And we
Everybody
hired the
was,
best of the best to hand draw our posters.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
we
His
wanted
name is Steve
quality,
Chorney.
the highest of quality, and we want our pieces to be timeless, to last forever.
And this is it. That's a drawing, actually. That's our movie poster. And Steve Chorney did that. He was also the artist of, you ever heard of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah, oh yeah.
He drew that movie poster.
Yeah,
Have you ever heard of the movie The Great Escape with Steve McQueen? He drew that movie poster.
That's a long time ago.
Oh, he's 74.
And
I hope you don't mind me telling your age, Steve. But no, he is the best of the best. And, that's what we try to compare ourselves to these big companies and do it the way they do it, because we got an advantage. We know what they do. They don't know where we're coming from. That's why when we say movie poster reveal to all, even our industry people, they're like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is that? Well, hey, we'll get used to it because it works, and we're going to keep on doing it.
Together and celebrate all the hard work that we've been doing and that everyone around us has been doing too, and just create the buzz. And you should have seen what we first sent Steve when we were reaching out to him.
I'll show you after the.
Oh, it was like
stick figures.
Yeah, stick figures and floating heads, and then he sent us back 4 just example drawings, and
you wouldn't believe it.
Wow.
You'd think of their pictures. They're so lifelike. We have we've been talking about this movie. We officially finished in February of last year, with the Post. With the Post.
So what's the official name of the movie?
The Private Eye.
The Private Eye.
Yeah,
okay.
and and we're trying to hype it up to different investors and studios, and we're like, even when Matt was gaining momentum, Matt really about a year and a half ago to 2 years ago, Matt was releasing his own stand-ups, like his hour specials, and they started gaining traction, and then
funding them himself too.
Oh yeah, and just last year. He started getting traction. Nothing like now. His Netflix special comes out November 15th. But Netflix wouldn't give him the chance. Anyway, February, we're finished. We start pitching it around, and, we get some lowball offers. And this is before Matt blew up.
Standard, basic offers.
Bullshit.
It was bullshit.
Which a lot of young filmmakers that have a completed film, they're just looking for anybody to accept it.
Let me get 25 grand from someone.
Yeah,
Let me get 50 grand so I can pay my bills a little bit. I mean, I'm just even a couple hundred's nothing.
Right.
So
but if you realize you could do the work yourself and get so much bigger.
Yeah,
then,
that's what's being forced to happen, because we're pitching it and they're giving us no ball offers, and we're like, this kid we got, man, he's just only 5-6 years younger than me, but anyway, we're like, man, he's about to blow up. He's the next big thing, and they nobody believes in us, and they're like, whatever. And we even have a screening to have investors. Shout out to Jake Sweeney Automotive. We actually. Had the screening in there. They have a screening private theater, and they've really supported us a lot and have been helping out. And so anyway, we invite 150 people or so in the screening, and we're like, hey, Matt's about to blow up, this, that, and you want to get in now. 2 weeks later, Matt blew up, and everybody at that event is telling us, oh, you were right, blah, blah, blah. And then we start getting more offers from these distribution companies, but they're still they're ridiculous. The offers that they made us. In our minds, we're like, whoa, you don't understand, obviously.
Especially when you look at how long it's been that we've been building this project.
They don't care about that, do
they?
They don't give a shit about any of that.
They follow trends. They don't make them. They follow those trends.
But Jack and I were like, we at least need to make enough to where it makes
you can do it again
every year worthwhile.
Yeah, we spent 10 years.
We can do it again.
Yeah.
So if somebody would have come to you and you would have said, oh, that's a great offer, then you're taking it. Can you throw out the number? If somebody came to you with that, you don't have to counter it, no negotiation. But, not astronomical, just oh, that's a moonshot. That's good.
Yeah.
They would have said how much, and you get to distribute, own, whatever our movie.
Yeah. Oh, so you own the whole thing?
Well, I don't know. Tell me what owning it means.
Owning it means,
they
you
control
get the
every
whole
part
rights
of it.
for life.
For whole rights for life. I mean, the low ball offer would have been $10 million.
Okay.
Low ball.
All right, so that meant low ball.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
No. They were the number. I'm not even going to tell you the numbers they offered. I was just like, dude, you obviously don't understand, and that's been going on the whole time though. But I think that's what makes somebody.
Yeah, and
right
I think
there.
a
that
lot of people that sit up on the the high chairs and and the execs at some of these big distribution companies, I think they're trained to just discourage filmmakers or young artists, and so they'll be like, oh, I don't know if that's the best idea for you, but let me have it and I'll take care of it for you and wrap it up in a pretty bow. And it's like, but we could do that ourselves. We can go around and pitch it to everybody.
Well, and that on that note, something that's crazy that we found out is, all these big people, you want their advice and you want your help because you want it easier for yourself. That's the only reason you work with other people. So it's off your back and you make it easier, and they've already done it before, blah, blah, blah. There's so many companies that were telling us what the theaters would think about our movie. I'm talking about like 10 large companies that were telling us, oh, this, that about your movie. You need to fix this. You need to fix that. So we actually have they didn't know this, but we have personal relationships with these theaters, like big theater chains, like the biggest. And so like
3-letter chains.
Yes.
Okay,
big one. So we, eventually I was like, this is ridiculous. I got to just see what these guys say personally. Man, they freaking loved it. Yeah. And so like everything that all these other people thought, like, oh, this is what they were trying to tell us what the theater said. So for entrepreneurs that are watching this, I think that's a very important lesson is, in a way, don't trust anybody but yourself. Like take all and listen though. Don't shut them down. Like I never was like, oh, no, I'm going to do it this way. I let you talk.
Yeah.
You give me all the info you want, and I'll use some of their advice, but don't let other people talk for other people, because that person,
Yeah, how do we know what to listen to, though? Isn't it tough what we're talking about here?
You just got to listen to your heart and your gut. Exactly. If you really believe in something, really believe something is worth a certain amount or just worth it and it's worthwhile, then bet on yourself.
Yeah.
Bet on yourself, because nobody else is going to work as hard for you as you're going to work for yourself, and nobody's going to believe in you as much as you can believe in yourself.
And that's where it starts getting scary. Is like if you do trust somebody else, like imagine you get a huge company to like, you just got this project, it's perfect, in your own mind, something's going to happen. Like, I'm not saying the movie's perfect. I mean, we had a lower budget, but what happened was perfect. The movement was perfect. It was more than a movie. It was a movement. Imagine, you go to one of these big companies and you trust them. I trust what you do. But then they tell you all this advice that in a way it's like it's negative. And really what it is they don't want to do the work, and they just want money.
They just want to do it their way. They want to do it the way they've learned to do it.
And not forcing anything either, letting it be organic and natural. And perfect example of that is the story Jack just told too, where these studio or distribution execs will tell us what the theaters are going to tell us, where these guys, we had the pressure for them just to watch our movie, and then they watch 15 minutes of the movie and give us their advice after that. Whereas the theaters directly, we didn't have to pressure them to watch it, and they came back, watched the whole movie, loved it, and didn't even know who Matt Rife is. And so
they just love the movie.
They love the movie for what it was, where other people are there just seeing
all they see is Matt Rife.
And,
and we
love Matt.
Yeah, we love. Yeah. And
don't get me wrong. And
his fans will love
role.
this movie, but it's definitely bigger piece of the puzzle than just a Matt Rife movie.
So how's it come together? Because you probably landed him to play the lead role. Before anybody knew him.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Right. When did you land this?
Movies with him?
3, 4, 5 years.
2019 and 2020.
No, so what we did is so back, our first article that came out, it was a Cincinnati. It was called the Tri-County Press. I'm not sure if you heard of it.
Small, yeah,
it's up in like where Tri-County Mall is. It was like that whole area. It was their newspaper. I think Cincinnati Enquirer ended up buying it, or it was a substitute of that.
Yep.
Anyway, that was our first interview in 2014 about this movie. Eric Roberts, we had his name in it too. It was long time ago, and I the first original script, the first draft, I wrote in 4 days. 14 to 16-hour days. I just pumped it out. 90 pages. Bum, 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 bum. And then it took.
Jack got in the maniac mode.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, we ain't going to talk about what was
Oh,
going on
yeah.
there.
Oh, my
We'll
God.
stick with caffeine.
Yeah,
we'll stick with
yeah.
caffeine.
No, yeah, it was not like
copy.
that. It was the dream, you know. Like if you really want something, it's just like Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? Like the
But
whole.
something
all
happened
the
for you at that
stories.
moment, and
Yeah.
you sat down and did it.
Oh yeah,
Something struck.
I knew what I had to do, and I knew that I wanted where I wanted to be. Like that's the whole thing. Compare yourself with the greatest. Even if you don't make it to the greatest, even if you fail, you win. You know what I mean? Like, hey, shoot, I'm the next Michael Jordan. If you're a basketball, that's who your competition should be. Because even if you get half of what Michael Jackson is, you'll still be a millionaire.
Jordan and
NBA.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Jordan and Jackson,
But this isn't any different.
I meant Michael
than-
Jordan.
So
sorry.
we'll get back on that. But this is the same as what Sylvester Stallone did back in the day.
Oh yeah,
He traveled this path with Rocky.
100%.
He believed in himself, and he
Yeah.
wasn't going to take no for an answer.
Oh,
He
they tried to
wasn't
kick
gonna
him
go
out of that. They
below
offered
what he
him
believed he
Nothing.
deserved.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they said, well, we're not going to buy the movie. You're not going to. He's like, okay.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and you have to have that. There has to be a
Be willing
something.
to
You gotta
walk.
you gotta have cojones, if you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
you gotta be sure of yourself for sure.
So go back to 2014.
Okay.
Because you probably thought, we talked about it before the podcast, but every time you make a plan,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
some high 90-something%, it just doesn't work out.
No,
that
and it
way.
didn't work
Yeah.
out. So, like, you know, we think we're going to film this year, you know, and I'm raising all this money. And, you know.
So we were going around pitching it everywhere we could pitch it to. And
Yeah. And then something funny was all the investors were like, oh, I only do horror films. Like, you know, a neo-noir drama, you know, mystery romance.
yeah, that
you
was
know,
the
it won't.
fad at the time.
Yeah,
which
it
horror
won't-
films are always going to be killer.
Yeah. So anyway, we eventually one time we like say after 4 years or 5 years pitching it, we had to adapt and move around, and so we actually even shelved The Private Eye and stopped focusing on that, and then we focused on a horror film. That's the one we're filming in Kentucky, actually. And that was a crazy story in itself. But as we're working on this new project, we finally get everything in order where we are able to film this movie, and 2020. The first week of March happens, and we literally have 3 projects. We have one in India, a Soul to Squeeze, and I actually forget what the other one is. But they were all ready to go. 2020 hit. Boom. Hey, we shut down. Let's see where we're at in a month. And so we thought by May, we were like, oh, we're going to be back on the
May
game.
of 20.
Yeah. We thought we were going to be back on the game. Nope. And so we adjusted again. We adapted to the situation, and we were like, well, we got The Private Eye on a shelf, and
Can't do nothing.
can't do nothing. So, and in my mind as a director, I thought Matt was perfect for the lead role of this Mort Madison. So,
Yeah, we just worked with him on a movie the year before, so
yeah, and so everybody loved his acting. I mean, he really had it, man, and he cared. And so Elliot and Elliot was already cast in the movie before this too. So it was Elliot, Hope IE, and I call Matt, and I'm like, hey Matt, I want you to be the lead. This is his first lead role, and I was like, man, this is it, man. You're the best for this role. I think you got it. I want you to come on board. And he came on board of May of 2020, and we were planning to film in September 2020. So we, this is another thing for entrepreneurs. You got to have that plan, and
we
no
set
matter
ourselves a
what,
deadline.
yeah,
And we
set your deadline
We
and
thought we
do
were
it.
gonna have our goal budget by then, and we probably had half of it.
We
by
didn't
then,
have
and
our
we
full
looked at
budget.
each other and we're
You
like,
started shooting anyway.
Oh yeah,
anyway.
oh yeah,
And as soon as we called action, the rest of the budget just rolled in.
for
'cause
that
as
project,
soon as
yeah.
people see you actually making moves,
And
they
that's
want a piece of
scary.
it.
Yeah, nobody wants to invest in your business if it's not doing it.
You
If you're
got
not
to do the
doing
work.
it.
You
yeah.
got to do the work.
Yep.
People will invest in a business that's doing it.
Production's rolling. Oh,
Yeah.
they must be in good shape.
They're
Let's go ahead
doing
and fund this.
exactly.
Yeah.
Nobody cares
Yeah.
about ideas, So anyway, that was a big, that's a risk factor that you have to do. We didn't know what we were going to do.
Money's a real thing. You
Yeah.
got it. You got it. You have to have it.
You have to
Oh,
have
yeah.
it.
You have
And the
to.
way Matt
Yeah,
is too, I mean, we worked so well together because as soon as he said yes, I mean, he just got so involved in the whole process of it too, and that's
he helped
that's
make
the
it
way
move it,
we
too.
are. We want everybody that's in our circle to win, and we want everybody to be equal, and that's why we like to say working horizontal too, just because we're all friends, we're all family, and when you're working with people who you already get along with outside of work, it just makes work life a lot
Can you get a
easier
lot
and
better,
more
right?
fun, yeah.